Last month, a green card holder who had been living in the United States for 12 years was flying back from India through JFK Airport. A CBP officer stopped him at the counter, sent him straight to secondary inspection, asked for his phone, and inside that phone, they found one old WhatsApp conversation where he had told his cousin, quote, "You should come here too. I can help you find work." That's it. One message. Because of that single message, CBP held him for 4 hours. They questioned the validity of his green card, and then they pressured him to sign Form I-407, which means voluntarily surrendering your green card, giving it up, forever. Now imagine if that man had known just 3 words. 3 simple words that could have legally protected him. His entire story might have ended differently. In today's video, I am going to tell you exactly what those 3 words are. But first, I am going to show you what CBP actually looks for inside your phone, what triggers secondary inspection in the first place, and what your legal rights are, rights that nobody is telling you about. And at the very end of this video, I am going to reveal one single thing you need to do on your phone before your next flight, or you could end up in the exact same situation. So make sure you stay until the end. What is happening at U.S. airports right now has never happened before in American history. In March 2026, CBC News reported that in 2025, U.S. Customs and Border Protection searched a record 55,318 electronic devices at U.S. borders. That is a 17.6% increase over 2024 and a 32.4% increase over 2023. Let me put that in perspective for you. That is an average of 151 phones being searched every single day at U.S. airports and border crossings, without any warrant. And in January 2026, CBP issued a brand new directive, Directive number 3340-049B. This directive expanded their search powers even further. Under this new directive, they can now search not just your phone but your laptops, cameras, tablets, flash drives, SIM cards, smartwatches, drones, and even the infotainment system inside your vehicle. And here's the most alarming part. This is not just happening to visitors or visa holders. It is happening to green card holders, and in some cases, even to United States citizens. So if you hold a green card, an H-1B visa, an F-1 student visa, or any type of U.S. visa, this video is directly relevant to you. Do not skip it. Now let us start with the most important question. When CBP takes your phone and starts going through it, what exactly are they looking for? Number 1. Signs of immigration fraud. This means any message, any conversation where you or someone else is discussing unauthorized work, fake documents, visa misuse, or helping someone enter the United States illegally. That WhatsApp message I mentioned at the beginning of this video is exactly what falls into this category. A simple message that could be interpreted as facilitating illegal immigration. Number 2. Evidence of overstay. If your photos, your location history, or your messages reveal that you have been in the United States longer than your visa allows, that is a major red flag for CBP officers. Number 3. Criminal activity. Any message, photo, video, or app on your phone that indicates involvement in any form of illegal activity. Number 4. National security concerns. Any communication with individuals who appear on federal watch lists or are flagged in Department of Homeland Security databases. And number 5, and this is the one most people never think about, employment evidence. If you are on a tourist visa and your phone contains pay stubs from a U.S. employer, work-related emails, or LinkedIn messages about a job you are doing in the United States, you are in serious trouble. CBP treats that as a direct violation of your visa terms. Now, knowing what they look for is important, but knowing what triggers the search in the first place is even more critical. Because if you can avoid the triggers, you can potentially avoid the entire situation. Here are the 7 things that can send you straight into secondary inspection. Listen carefully to every single one. Trigger number 1 is travel duration. If you are a green card holder and you have been outside the United States for more than 6 months, CBP receives an automatic flag in their system the moment your passport is scanned. 6 months or longer gives CBP the authority to pull you aside and begin questioning whether you have abandoned your U.S. residence. And if it has been more than 12 months, your situation becomes significantly worse. After 1 year, your green card is technically considered expired for re-entry purposes unless you obtained a re-entry permit before you left the country. This is the single most common reason green card holders get sent to secondary inspection. Keep that 6-month number in your mind. Trigger number 2 is inconsistent answers. This one catches more people than you would think. The CBP officer at the primary counter asks you a simple question. How long were you outside the country? And because you are nervous, you give the wrong date. Or your verbal answer does not match what your boarding pass shows. Or your passport stamps tell a different story from what you just said. That inconsistency, even if it is an honest mistake, is enough to send you to secondary. And here is something else you need to know. That officer at the primary counter is trained to read your body language. If you are fidgeting, avoiding eye contact, sweating, or fumbling with your documents, that is a signal to them. So stay calm. Be honest. Give short, direct answers. Do not volunteer extra information. Answer only what is asked and nothing more. Trigger number 3 is past immigration issues. If you have any prior immigration violations on your record, a past overstay, a denied visa application, removal proceedings, or any encounter with immigration enforcement, all of that information is stored in DHS databases. And the moment your passport is scanned at the counter, every single flag appears on the officer's screen instantly. There is no way to hide past violations. The system knows everything. Trigger number 4 is random selection. And this is the one that frustrates people the most. Sometimes you have done absolutely nothing wrong. Your record is clean. Your answers are perfect, but you still get pulled aside. CBP uses algorithmic screening tools that flag certain travel patterns. If you travel frequently to certain countries, if your travel pattern looks unusual, or if you simply fit a profile that the system is monitoring, you can be randomly selected for secondary inspection. It is not personal, but it is real, and it happens more often than most people realize. Trigger number 5 is a name match. If your name, or even a name that sounds similar to yours, appears on any government watch list, no-fly list, or law enforcement database, you will likely be flagged. This is incredibly frustrating because it may have absolutely nothing to do with you, but name matches trigger secondary inspections constantly. If this keeps happening to you repeatedly, there is a solution. It is called DHS TRIP, the Traveler Redress Inquiry Program. You can apply for free on the DHS website. Once they process your case, they assign you a redress number that you add to all your flight bookings. It will not guarantee smooth travel every single time, but it significantly reduces false flags. I will put the link in the description below. Trigger number 6 is arriving from high-sensitivity countries. If you are arriving from, or even transiting through, countries that are considered geopolitically sensitive or high risk by the United States government, your chances of being selected for secondary inspection increase substantially. I am not going to name specific countries in this video, but if you pay attention to which regions are currently under heightened U.S. government scrutiny, you can make a reasonable judgment on your own. And trigger number 7, this is the most important one, phone behavior at the counter. Listen to this carefully. When you are standing at the primary inspection counter and the CBP officer is reviewing your passport and asking you questions, if at that moment you are looking down at your phone, swiping through it, or, and this is the absolute worst thing you can do, deleting messages or clearing apps while standing in the immigration line, that officer sees it. And that is an instant red flag. There have been numerous documented cases where travelers deleted messages or cleared their browser history while waiting in the immigration queue. They thought they were being smart. But CBP has forensic extraction tools, software like Celebrite, that can recover deleted data from your phone. Messages, photos, and files that you thought were gone forever can be pulled back. So deleting data while standing in the immigration line does not protect you. It actually makes your situation significantly worse because now it looks like you were actively hiding something. The smartest thing you can do is put your phone away. Keep it in your pocket or your bag. Do not touch it until you have completely cleared immigration. Do not give them any reason to pay extra attention to your device. Alright, now you know the 7 things that trigger secondary inspection. Now it is time for the most important part of this entire video. If a CBP officer pulls you into secondary inspection, asks you to hand over your phone, and you are uncomfortable with that request, you say these 3 words. I don't consent. I do not consent. Now let me be absolutely clear about something. These 3 words are not magic. They will not automatically stop CBP from searching your phone. CBP may still take your device. They may still conduct a search. But saying I don't consent does something incredibly powerful from a legal standpoint. Let me explain exactly what happens. When you say I don't consent, three things occur. First, it goes on the official record. Your refusal to consent is documented by the CBP officer. If there is ever a court case, an appeal, a deportation hearing, or any legal challenge related to what CBP found on your phone, the fact that you did not consent to the search becomes a critical piece of evidence in your favor. Immigration lawyers use this. Defense attorneys use this. It matters. Second, if you are a U.S. citizen or a lawful permanent resident, a green card holder, and you refuse to hand over your phone, CBP cannot deny you entry to the United States solely because of that refusal. This has been confirmed by the American Civil Liberties Union, the Electronic Frontier Foundation, and multiple federal court rulings. They can hold you for additional time. They can ask you more questions. They can temporarily seize your device. But they cannot turn you away at the door. Your right to enter your own country, or in the case of green card holders, your country of legal residence, is protected. Third, and this is where it gets critical for visa holders. If you are on a tourist visa, a student visa, a work visa, or any non-immigrant visa, the situation is fundamentally different. If you refuse to provide access to your phone, CBP has the legal authority to deny you entry entirely. They can cancel your visa on the spot and put you on the next plane home. So if you are a visa holder, this is a decision you need to make very carefully and ideally after consulting with an immigration attorney before you even travel. Now, along with I don't consent, I also recommend adding one more sentence immediately after. Say this: I do not consent to a search of my device, but I will not physically interfere. This is the perfect legal balance. You are asserting your constitutional right. You are creating a clear legal record of your refusal, but you are also making it explicitly clear that you are not going to physically resist or cause a confrontation. Because if you physically resist a CBP officer, if you grab your phone back or try to push their hand away, that creates an entirely new set of criminal charges that you absolutely do not want. And if CBP does take your phone despite your refusal, here is what you say next. Ask this question: am I free to leave? If they say yes, leave calmly. Follow up about your phone later through the proper channels. If they say no, then say this: I wish to remain silent, and I would like to speak to a lawyer. That is your constitutional right under the Fifth Amendment of the United States Constitution. It applies to everyone on U.S. soil: citizens, green card holders, and visa holders. Every single person in the United States has the right to remain silent. Use it. Now I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below right now. Did you know about these 3 words before watching this video? Type yes or no in the comments. I read every single one and I will respond. Now let me explain something that most people get confused about. There are actually 2 types of phone searches that CBP can conduct, and your rights are completely different under each one. You need to understand this. The first type is called a basic search. In a basic search, a CBP officer takes your phone in their hands and manually scrolls through it. They can open your photos. They can read your text messages. They can look through your WhatsApp conversations. They can open your social media apps, your call logs, your email inbox, your browser history. They manually look through everything they can access on the screen. No warrant is required for a basic search. No suspicion is required. Under what is legally known as the border search exception, CBP officers have the authority to conduct a basic search on any traveler, at any time, for any reason, or for no reason at all. However, and this is extremely important, during a basic search, the CBP directive requires that the device must be disconnected from the internet. That means the phone must be in airplane mode or have its Wi-Fi turned off. The reason this matters enormously is that it means CBP officers cannot access your cloud data during a basic search. They cannot open your iCloud account. They cannot browse your Google Drive. They cannot check your Dropbox. They can only see data that is physically stored on the device itself. If a photo exists only in iCloud and has been removed from the phone's local storage, CBP cannot see it during a basic search. Remember that point. It becomes very important when I tell you how to protect your phone before you fly. In 2025, out of the 55,318 total device searches conducted at U.S. borders, 51,061 of them were basic searches. That is 92% of all searches. The second type is called an advanced search. In an advanced search, CBP connects your phone to an external forensic tool, software like Celebrite or other extraction technology. This tool can pull your phone's entire contents, including deleted messages, deleted photos, deleted apps, cached data, browsing history, GPS logs, everything. Even things you thought you erased are recoverable during an advanced search. But here is the critical difference. To conduct an advanced search, CBP needs reasonable suspicion. That is a legal standard. It means they must have a specific, articulable reason to believe that your device contains evidence of illegal activity, a customs violation, or a violation of immigration law. They cannot just do an advanced search because they feel like it. Additionally, an advanced search requires supervisor approval. A regular CBP officer at the counter cannot authorize an advanced search on their own. They must get sign-off from a supervisor before proceeding. In 2025, only 4,257 of the total searches were advanced searches. That is just 8%. So the overwhelming majority of travelers who have their phones searched will experience a basic search, not an advanced one. Knowing this, if you ever find yourself in secondary inspection and a CBP officer asks for your phone, you have the right to ask this question. Is this going to be a basic search or an advanced search? You are allowed to ask that. And if they tell you it is an advanced search, you can follow up with, what is the basis for reasonable suspicion? They may not answer you. They are not legally required to. But asking creates an official record, and that record can be extremely valuable if the matter ever goes before a judge. Now let us talk about what CBP cannot legally do to you. These are your rights. And I guarantee you, the vast majority of travelers have no idea these protections exist. CBP cannot access your cloud data. Under Directive 3340-049B, the device must be disconnected from the Internet during any search. Your iCloud, Google Drive, Dropbox, OneDrive, and any other cloud-based storage are completely off-limits. Officers can only search data that is physically present on your device at the time of the search. If the data lives in the cloud and has not been downloaded to your phone, they simply cannot see it. CBP cannot deny a green card holder entry solely for refusing a phone search. If you are a lawful permanent resident, you have a legal right to enter the United States. CBP can question you for an extended period. They can detain you temporarily at the airport. They can seize your device for inspection. But they cannot revoke your green card or deny you entry to the country simply because you said, "I don't consent to a search." This is established law. CBP cannot force you to sign Form I-407. This is critically important, and I need you to remember this. Form I-407 is the record of abandonment of lawful permanent resident status. If you sign this form, you are voluntarily giving up your green card. The key word is voluntarily. Nobody can make you sign it. It is not mandatory. It is not required. Yet there have been widespread, documented reports of CBP officers pressuring green card holders, especially elderly immigrants, to sign this form at the airport. They may tell you things like, "This will make things easier for you," or "You can always reapply for your green card later." Do not believe it. Do not sign it. Under any circumstances. Not without first speaking to a qualified immigration attorney. Once you sign Form I-407, it is nearly impossible to reverse. You have voluntarily surrendered your permanent residency with your own signature. No court is going to undo that easily. If you are ever pressured to sign, say this exact sentence. "I do not wish to sign any documents without first consulting with my immigration attorney." Say it calmly, say it politely, but say it firmly, and do not sign. CBP cannot keep your phone permanently. Under the directive, if CBP seizes your device, they are required to return it within 5 business days, or they must provide documented justification for extending the retention period. And even that extension has limitations. Your phone is your personal property, and they cannot simply keep it indefinitely. And CBP cannot prevent you from requesting a lawyer. If you are detained at the border, you have the right to ask for legal representation. Now, to be transparent, the right to an attorney at the border is more limited than it would be if you were arrested inside the country. You do not have an automatic right to have an attorney present during CBP questioning at a port of entry, but you absolutely have the right to request one. And every single time you make that request, it is logged in the official record. That record protects you. Now here is the most practical part of this entire video. I am going to give you the exact steps to protect your phone before your next international flight. Follow these carefully. Step 1. Power off your phone completely before landing. When your plane begins its descent, Do not just put your phone to sleep. Turn it completely off. Here's why. When an iPhone or Android phone is powered off and has not been unlocked since being turned on, it enters a state that security researchers call before first unlock. In this state, the full disk encryption on your device is at its absolute strongest. Even advanced forensic extraction tools like Cellebrite have a significantly harder time pulling data from a phone in this state. Keep your phone off until you have fully cleared immigration and customs. Step 2. Disable Face ID and fingerprint unlock before your flight. This one is critical. Multiple courts have ruled that CBP cannot force you to reveal your passcode because entering a passcode is considered a testimonial act protected under the Fifth Amendment. However, if your Face ID or fingerprint unlock is still active, an officer could potentially hold the phone in front of your face or press your finger to the sensor and unlock the device without you ever verbally consenting to anything. So before your flight, disable biometric unlock. On an iPhone, the fastest method is to press and hold the power button and either volume button simultaneously for about 3 seconds until the emergency SOS screen appears. Once that screen shows up, Face ID is automatically disabled. The phone will now only unlock with your passcode. Make sure that passcode is strong, at minimum 6 digits. Ideally, an alphanumeric password with letters and numbers. Step 3. Move sensitive data to the cloud and delete local copies. Remember, CBP can only search data that is physically stored on your device. Cloud storage is off limits during any search. So before your flight, take your personal photos, private messages, sensitive documents, financial records, and any files you want to protect, upload them to iCloud, Google Drive, or any encrypted cloud service of your choice. Then delete the local copies from your phone. When you arrive safely at your destination and clear immigration, you can simply re-download everything to your device. This single step eliminates the vast majority of your risk. Step 4. Log out of all social media and messaging applications. WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, Telegram, Twitter, Signal, TikTok. Log out of every single one before you land. Here's why. If the app is logged in, cached messages, photos, and recent activity may be stored locally on your device, and CBP can see all of that during a basic search. But if you are logged out, that data lives on the company's servers, in the cloud, where CBP cannot access it without a separate legal process. Step 5. Consider carrying a dedicated travel phone. If digital privacy is a serious concern for you, especially if you travel internationally on a regular basis, consider carrying a second phone specifically for travel. A clean device with only essential apps loaded. No personal messages. No sensitive photos. No social media accounts logged in. Just the basics you need for your trip. Many frequent international travelers and business professionals already do this. It is the single most secure option available to you. Now, if you are a green card holder, there are specific rules that apply to you, and you need to know every single one of them. First, you are a lawful permanent resident of the United States. You have a constitutional right to re-enter the country. CBP cannot treat you the same way they treat a tourist on a B-1 or B-2 visa. They can question you. They can send you to secondary inspection, but they cannot deny you entry without due process. You are entitled to a hearing before an immigration judge if CBP believes you have violated the terms of your residency. They cannot simply put you on a plane and send you back. Second, if you are planning to travel outside the United States for more than 6 months, apply for a reentry permit before you leave. This is Form I-131, and you must file it while you are still physically present in the United States. A reentry permit is valid for up to 2 years and serves as proof that you did not intend to abandon your U.S. residency during your time abroad. Without one, any absence longer than 6 months gives CBP legitimate grounds to question whether you have abandoned your permanent residency. Third, every time you travel internationally, carry physical documentation proving your ties to the United States. Bring recent U.S. bank statements showing regular activity. Bring a letter from your employer confirming your ongoing employment. Bring copies of utility bills in your name at your U.S. address. Bring your most recent tax return transcripts. Bring proof of your lease agreement or mortgage payments. These documents demonstrate clearly and convincingly that the United States is your home and that you have not abandoned your residence. Fourth, I am going to say this one final time because it is that important. Never, under any circumstances, sign Form I 407 at the airport. No matter what CBP tells you, no matter how tired you are after a long flight, no matter how much pressure you feel in that moment, that form is voluntary. Nobody can compel you to sign it. And the moment you put your signature on it, your green card is gone. Say this exact sentence if you are ever in that situation. I do not wish to sign any documents without first consulting with my immigration attorney. Say it as many times as you need to. And fifth, if you are being sent to secondary inspection every single time you travel, and you have no criminal record and no immigration violations, apply for the DHS Traveler Redress Inquiry Program, known as DHS TRIP. It is completely free. You submit a form on the DHS website, they investigate your case, and if there is erroneous information in their system that is causing you to be flagged, they will correct it and issue you a redress control number. You add that number to all your future flight bookings, and it should significantly reduce the problem. Now I am going to tell you the one thing I promised at the very beginning of this video. The one thing you should do on your phone right now, before your next flight. Pick up your phone, open your settings, and check whether your location history is turned on. On an iPhone, go to Settings, then Privacy and Security, then Location Services, then scroll down to System Services, then tap on Significant Locations. If that feature is turned on, your phone has been automatically and silently recording every single place you have visited with exact dates and exact times, for months or possibly even years. You probably did not even know it was happening. Now imagine a CBP officer conducts a basic search and opens that setting. They instantly have your complete travel history. Every city you visited, every country you were in, every date you arrived and departed, without you ever saying a single word, without them even looking at your passport stamps. Turn it off right now and clear the existing history while you are at it. It takes 30 seconds, but those 30 seconds could protect your green card. Let me quickly recap the key points from today's video. CBP searched a record 55,318 devices in 2025, and that number is expected to climb even higher in 2026 under the new directive. If CBP asks for your phone, say I don't consent. Those 3 words create a legal record that protects you. Basic searches require no suspicion and make up 92% of all device searches. Advanced searches require reasonable suspicion and supervisor approval and account for only 8%. CBP cannot access your cloud data during any search. Move sensitive information to the cloud before you fly and delete the local copies. Green card holders cannot be denied entry for refusing a phone search. You have the right to re-enter your country of residence. And never, ever sign Form I-407 at the airport. It is voluntary. Nobody can force you. And once you sign, there is almost no going back. If this video helped you, if you learned even one thing you did not know before, hit the like button right now. Subscribe to this channel and tap the bell icon so you get notified the moment we post our next immigration update. And in the comments below, tell me, have you ever been pulled into secondary inspection at a US airport? What happened? What did they ask you? I read every single comment, and I will personally respond to as many as I can. One more thing. If you want me to make the next video about what to do if ICE shows up at your front door, the exact words to say, what documents to keep ready, and what mistakes to avoid, drop the word ICE video in the comments. If we get 500 comments asking for it, that video goes live next week. Stay informed, know your rights, and always travel prepared. This is USA Visa News. I will see you in the next one.